have extensive live team coverage today, taking a closer look at the issues being debated in Annapolis with less than 2 weeks until the end of the session.
Let's begin with Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost. She joins us in studio after pressing Governor Moore about the budget heading to the Senate. Mackenzie?
Kaya and Mary, the governor says by modernizing permitting and regulatory reform, the state is moving in a more business-friendly direction. Plus, by investing millions in new industries like life sciences, IT, and AI, the economy will start to grow. But we question him on how all of that is possible when the budget includes more than $1 billion in tax increases. And so many of you at home have asked me where the state's multi-billion-dollar surplus went. So I asked the governor about that as well. Governor Wes Moore continues to stand by the budget as negotiations continue, now over in the Senate. The governor wanted to cut the corporate tax rate, but that's been stripped from the plan moving forward.
I'm a very pro-business leader. I believe that we've got to make sure that we're making Maryland more competitive and more economically competitive, and I think that a corporate tax rate cut is a part of the larger solution that we're pulling together.
If it's pro-growth, how come there are so many taxes included in the budget, including a tax on data and IT services?
Well, I think that the political talking points about the things that make it not pro-growth, I just don't think that they stand.
The taxes stretch beyond data and IT services. The House's version includes tax hikes on the vehicle excise tax, short-term rental cars, cannabis, sports betting, plus several other fee increases. Governor Moore says he maintains his mission this session.
The larger guidance that I've had throughout the entire session was we have got to make sure that we are growing the economy, but we are not going to do it on the backs of middle class and working families.
If you want to help middle class Marylanders, why does this budget plan right now have more than $1 billion in new taxes?
What this budget plan right now has is 94% of Maryland families are about to either get a tax cut or see no change in their taxes at all.
The budget battle in Annapolis stretches beyond the details in the current plan. At the end of 2022, former Governor Larry Hogan prepared to leave office and offered a warning.
It would be a mistake for the legislature to use its newly expanded budgetary power to return to the old habits of raiding the rainy day fund or recklessly spending down the surplus.
Despite writing in this 2023 letter stating, "We are in a fortunate financial position," Governor Moore says the $5 million budget surplus wasn't real. I know that a lot of people say that it wasn't a real surplus, that it was a federal,
It wasn't a real surplus.
sugar high of cash.
It wasn't a real surplus. It wasn't a real surplus.
But where did it go?
When you have a one-time infusion of federal cash, that is not a structural surplus. That's not math. It's politics. But it's not math. It's dark money gaslighting.
He says the state was flush with federal COVID-era cash.
It allowed Maryland to say we're not going to deal with the structural issue.
But some of that money was spent.
We put it towards first fixing things like Charlotte Hall and all these other things that when we walked in on day one, we realized how many problems that we now had to immediately fix because I was not going to allow our military veterans that were living in the state of Maryland to be living in one of the worst veterans homes in the country.
Governor Moore says the state's deficit was projected since 2017, and to right the dire fiscal situation, he says structural changes need to be made. Now, we expect the budget itself to be debated on the Senate floor starting Monday. Sources tell me a few changes from the House's version are likely, like more than a dozen different cuts, and some of the fact that the Senate President Bill Ferguson wants triggers included to determine less funding depending on revenues at the end of the year or potentially even more cuts at the federal level. So all of those differences will likely have to be ironed out during a conference committee sometime next week. Live in studio, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Hi, I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel and check out Fox Baltimore on social media to find more stories like this.